evacuations are now underway.
You see that?
It appears that there's some shadowy figures.
From the director of The Bourne Identity, the price of the truth
Need to change the story.
will cost them everything. Naomi Watts, Sean Penn, fair game in cinemas Friday.
And run-ins with these real-world animals may well have created nothing short of a monster in the minds of locals.
Alright, people, let's get down to the math. It is only three-dimensional thinking that limits our imagination.
That should give you the war you need to finish the job your last president started.
Just to take no prisoners punched from a massive EMP yield.
Electoral magnetic pulse weapon.
We would have total destruction, mass chaos. And if the American people believe this to be an act of terrorism, before we know who the real terrorists are, we'll be invading Iran in a month. Now, our intel points to the fact that this weapon was manufactured in a facility just outside of Kiev in the Ukraine. And we believe whoever did this is trying to make it look like Al-Qaeda. The Russians have no love for the Ukrainians. If they're attacked by a weapon from their country, it could mean all-out war.
We're looking at the equivalent of a 50 megaton bomb with a fair bit of initial structural damage.
Soviet operation inside the Ukraine, something like our Area 51, so there's no longer in Russia.
Yeah, so why the Russians and the Americans attack their own country?
I didn't say that. I said a rogue operation to make the rest of the world believe it wasn't them until the time came to strike the real target. We need to shut this down now, before we have World War III on our hands.
Siberia.
So who's running this place?
Back then it was Russia.
Who's running it now?
All I know is that it's a collaborative effort from a number of agencies in a number of countries.
What countries?
Russia, China, and the United States of America. That's not what is going to happen. The simulations show that...
Simulations? I thought you were a smart guy. Do the math. You know how much damage was caused by the first two detonations? They nearly brought down the grid. What do you think's going to happen if we have mass detonations across an entire region?
These people that you are working for, they don't just want to shut down the Middle East. They want to turn the whole world upside down.
Don't really know what's going on, and so they just go along with the game. You know, there are a lot of mid-level apparatchiks, you know, sort of functionaries. But the truth is, we have the ability in our time, right now, to change that status quo, but it's going to take all of us. Years ago, I met with a man who was the national security military affairs guy for the Washington Post. And he said to me, and we were having a drink at a place in D.C., some place that you'd never think we'd be, you know, basically. And he turned to me and he said, well, you know, I've got a whole file on some stuff like this, including the fact that there's been human cloning going on in covert military and corporate programs in facilities that are underground out west. I said, yeah, I know about those. I said, you know about the ones that make it look like they're ETs and they're not anyway? He said, oh, yeah. A lot with new energy. He said, the truth will set you free. First, it'll piss you off. And I said, yeah, you're right. Sometimes that's true, but we have got to come out of childhood's arrest here. We're in an adolescent arrest as a civilization. We have got to evolve to the place where spiritually, socially, we can live peacefully enough to let these technologies run our planet safely. Secrecy around the sort of structure of religion. However, the big secrecy is dealing with power. It's always about power. Always has been. And when you talk about something, a subject, that it really opens up, will result in the entire world knowing that not only are we not alone in the universe, but that we already have in technology programs that are sequestered at facilities at Lockheed Skunk Works in Northrop and SAIC and E-Systems and EG&G. I can give you the whole list of the corporations up to their eyebrows in these technologies, MITRE. What you will find is that these technologies will completely change the way the world works. Because what happens when every village in Africa and India can have one of these energy generators without having to put in $1 trillion infrastructure of electric lines and power plants or pay for coal and oil to be shipped all the way around the world to run it? You will see a blossoming of the world economy and a blossoming of abundance on this planet like we have never seen in recorded history. When that happens, the 600 million people of Europe and America will have their prowess, power prowess, the money issue dwarfed by the peoples of India and Africa and South America and Asia. What this means is, as REM says in their song, is the end of the world as I know it. But I feel fine. Now, look, it will change things in a major way. This is not a trivial issue. There are massive changes that would attend the disclosure of this subject and the release of these technologies. It isn't secret because it's silly. It's secret because it has such huge ramifications. But if we stay in this death grip of secrecy we're in now, we're going to see a meltdown in our civilization, and we'll have to reboot it like a crashed computer. Now, unfortunately, I think there are some people in this group who've decided that that's the best course. And I disagree with them stringently, because it's not compassionate, it's very short-sighted, and it's cruel. In the meanwhile, we have entire species of plants and animals becoming extinct every year because of the foolish way we're living on Earth. This can change. I hope you will join us.
Kill a zombie is to stop its brain activity. Cut off its head, smash in its skull. Luckily, they're slow and stupid, so we have a decent chance of beating them. Unless, of course, there's hundreds of them.
Zombies in general.
Just put your pinkies down. Oh my God, you hit a cyclist!
What should I do, Daddy?
Drive, drive, drive! Pinkies!
5-0! 5-0!
Faster, Junior!
I can't see you! You're hit!
No, he's hit! Look out for that tree!
Instead, we may merely be part of a computer program. Our free will, as Newton suggested, is probably an illusion. And just to rub it in, we are being controlled by a super-intelligent, superior being, who is, after all, the Martine.
From the point of view of science, it's a catastrophic idea. The purpose of science is to understand reality. If we're living in virtual reality, we are forever barred from understanding nature.
Robots of the control system, or are they going to wake up and take the road to freedom?
This suggests that we may well be awoken from the life on Earth, which we think we are living right now, just as we are awoken from a dream.
A lot of things are going to occur, and also they're monitoring us, trying to help us, so we have some chance to wake up. That's the ground crew people.
So they're sending us messages through crop circles? Or?
Well, yeah, through crop circles, and through the handbook. The handbook was written by extraterrestrials, totally written by them. In order to, they said they'll give us information, they're not going to do it for us. There's nobody come down and save us. We're going to have to save ourselves.
Yeah, there is no savior.
Yeah.
Savior is man himself.
That's right, the victimhood. You know what Christ said? What I do, you can do and greater. He also said, what you sow, you shall reap. Didn't he say that?
Correct.
He said, where's the temple of God located? Within. That's back to you.
Once he came, they killed him. He wouldn't.
They didn't kill him.
I mean, they tried him.
You know, that's another one of the lies. They crucified him up there, but a lot of people got crucified and didn't die.
You know, Homer, I'm starting to realize life is short.
It is?
We have to make the most of the time we have.
We do?
Otherwise, we could wake up one day and realize we've wasted our whole lives.
Oh, that.
Or follow the prophecies. One of the two.
Yet you think they're the ones who will bring it down upon us.
Exactly. Except for the extraterrestrials that I've been in contact with says, wake up, guys. You're in a huge play. You know, it's like William Shakespeare said, the whole world's the stage and we're just the players on this thing, which is actually correct.
And gaming to save the planet. Fate of the World gives players the chance to save a virtual Earth from climate catastrophe.
And Asia in over a week. We've received confirmation that the Middle East has been destroyed by nuclear explosions.
Right. When you're going to put together some kind of product. Well, the inside of the game, when we started using neutron bombs, today they figured that biologicals are much cheaper. Mm-hmm. They're still planning on, the plan is to get a war started in the Middle East. And they're still planning on using a neutron bomb, or one of the bombs that they've got developed on Israel, and that's to begin World War III.
And we're tracking breaking news for you this morning. A bipartisan report commissioned by Congress has new details about terrorists targeting America. The report says terror cells are actively plotting a biological or nuclear attack on U.S. cities, and it's likely to happen before the year 2013.
A lot of ideas have gone into the new Passat, like a fatigue detection system to make your journey safer, a mechanism for reusing energy usually lost during braking, and our most efficient Blue Motion technology engine that could take you over 1,000 miles on a single tank. And those are just a few ideas that together will make a real difference.
1821.
We're here because we want to know the real story.
We never stood a chance. This is the technology of the gods.
Don't worship me, I'd make a very bad god.
Life leaves devastation in its wake. Always moving on, because you dare not look back. Playing with so many people's lives, you might as well be a god.